He returned home from abroad as a billionaire, after years of losing contact with the woman he loved. But nothing prepared him for that day. A simple hotel stop, a small moment. Then everything changed in seconds. Because right in front of him was his fiancée, the woman he never stopped looking for, working as a hotel cleaner. How did her life fall to this point? And what really happened while he was gone? Stay with us as the story unfolds. Dear lovely viewers, if you enjoy stories like this, please support us by subscribing so you don't miss the next one. Let's begin. It was late at night when the plane landed at the airport in Abuja. The airport was still busy. Mr. Afor walked slowly through the arrival hall with a suitcase in one hand and a duffel bag in the other. After years of working and studying overseas, he had finally returned home as a very successful man. As he stepped outside the airport, he got into a taxi heading to a hotel he had booked weeks before leaving abroad. During the drive, he kept looking out of the window. His mind felt far away, as if he was thinking about something or someone. Soon they arrived at a 5-star hotel. Mr. Afor had made a reservation a week earlier. He walked in and went straight to the reception. "I have a reservation under the name Mr. Afor Okeke," he said. The receptionist checked the system. She checked again. Her face changed. "Sir, I cannot find your reservation," she said. Mr. Afor looked confused. "That is not possible," he replied. "I have proof on my phone." He showed her the booking. After more checking and calls between staff, they finally found the problem. "There was a technical issue on our website that day," the receptionist said. "Some bookings did not enter the system." Mr. Afor stayed quiet for a moment. "So what does that mean?" he asked. The receptionist lowered her voice. "It means your reservation is not in our system." Mr. Afor's face changed. "Is there another room available?" he asked. The receptionist shook her head slowly. "All rooms are full." For a moment, Mr. Afor said nothing. Then he picked up his bags and walked outside. He stopped another taxi. "Take me to the nearest hotel," he said. The driver nodded. The car moved through the city for a while. Finally, they stopped at another hotel. It looked good and clean. Mr. Afor went inside, paid for a room, and collected his key card. That night, he was very tired. He entered the room and fell asleep quickly. The next morning, he went into the bathroom to take a quick shower. While he was inside, someone knocked on the door. A woman's voice came from outside. "Good morning. It is the cleaner. Can I come in?" Inside the bathroom, Mr. Afor stopped for a moment. Something about the voice felt familiar, but he could not place it. He spoke from inside the bathroom. "The door's open." "Thank you," the voice said. He heard the door open and close. He continued what he was doing. After some time, he finished in the bathroom and stepped out. He stood in front of the bathroom, wiping water from his head with a towel. Then he looked into the room. A cleaner was inside, arranging the bed. She stood with her side facing him. Mr. Afor stopped moving. His hands stayed on his head. He looked at her closely. Something about her felt very familiar. He slowly walked closer, step by step. The closer he got, the stronger the feeling became. Then he saw her face clearly. His body went still. It was her, Nkechi, the woman he had searched for many years, the woman who helped him leave the country, the woman he planned to marry. Now she was there in front of him, cleaning a hotel room. His voice came out softly. "Nkechi." The woman stopped what she was doing. Slowly, she turned. Her eyes met his. The cloth in her hand dropped. For a moment, she froze. "Afor," she said in a low voice. Mr. Afor stood still. "Nkechi," he said again. Her eyes locked on him. In an instant, her body went weak. Her knees gave way. "Nkechi," he shouted. She started falling. He quickly ran forward and caught her in his arms. "Nkechi, please open your eyes." She did not respond. He looked around, panicked. "Somebody help!" he shouted. Hotel staff rushed into the room. "She fainted," one of them said. "Call for help," another said. Mr. Afor held her tightly. "Wake up! Please wake up!" he said again and again. But she stayed still in his arms. Without waiting, he lifted her up. "Where is the nearest hospital?" he asked urgently. They told him. He rushed out with her in his arms. His heart was heavy because after many years of searching, he had finally found Nkechi. But she was not in a good condition. At the hospital waiting area, Mr. Afor stood for a long time. He could not sit down. He just kept standing there, looking lost. His mind was not calm. He had just found Nkechi again after many years, but she was not the same. She was a cleaner in a hotel, and now she was lying inside a hospital room. He felt confused. He felt hurt. He had so many questions in his heart. He stepped out of the waiting area and began walking slowly around the hospital compound. He could not stay still. As he walked, memories from the past came back to him. Many years ago, after school, Mr. Afor and Nkechi had both been searching for work. Life was not easy for both of them, but they stayed together. They loved each other deeply. At that time, Mr. Afor did not have much money. He lived in a small one-room apartment. Every weekend, Nkechi would visit him. She always brought small things to help him feel better. They would sit together and talk about their future. Later, they both got jobs. Nkechi got a better-paying job. They both worked diligently, planning their future together. But something happened. One day at Mr. Afor's workplace, he saw something. His friend was filling forms for a scholarship to study abroad. Mr. Afor became curious. He asked his friend about it. His friend explained that it was real. He said if you pass the test, you can study abroad for a master's degree. Mr. Afor listened carefully. That idea stayed in his mind. A few weeks later, something surprising happened. His friend got accepted for the program. That was when Mr. Afor believed it was real. Mr. Afor had always dreamed of going abroad, not just for school, but for a better life. So he decided to try, but he did not take it seriously at first. He applied without even telling Nkechi. He thought nothing would come out of it. But something happened. One morning, he checked his phone and saw an email. It was from the scholarship program. He had been accepted. Mr. Afor could not believe it. He kept reading the message again and again. But there was a problem. The scholarship would only cover his school fees. He still needed money for travel and other costs. That evening, after work, he called Nkechi. He asked her to come to his apartment. He said he had something important to tell her. Later that day, Nkechi arrived. She looked full of curiosity. She kept asking him what the news was. Mr. Afor sat down slowly. Then he explained everything. He told her about his friend. He told her about the scholarship. He told her how he applied without expecting anything. Then he told her the result. He had been accepted. Nkechi's face lit up with joy. She stood up quickly and hugged him tightly. "I'm so proud of you," she said. For a moment, everything felt happy. Then Mr. Afor became quiet. His face changed. Nkechi noticed. She moved closer and asked him what was wrong. Mr. Afor took a deep breath. "My dear," he said slowly, "you know my situation?" He explained that his salary was very small. He said he could not afford the travel expenses, and the scholarship did not cover it. He said he only had a few months before the travel date. Nkechi's smile slowly faded. The room became quiet. Mr. Afor looked worried. He felt like his dream was slipping away, but Nkechi did not stay silent for long. She moved closer and held his hand. "We will do it together," she said. "We are in this together." Then she told him something that changed everything. She said she had some savings, and she would help him. Mr. Afor looked at her in shock. He could not believe it. "Are you sure?" he asked. Nkechi held his hand tightly. "When it comes to you, I am sure," she said. "I love you, Afor. I believe in you. I know you will not fail me." Mr. Afor looked at her for a long time. "I love you too," he said. That night he made a promise. He told her that he would not disappoint her. He said once he finished his studies, he would find a way to stay and work abroad. He said he would build a better future for them. Nkechi agreed. She believed in him. From that moment, they started planning everything together. Nkechi gave him her savings. It was not small. In fact, what she gave him was far more than what Afor himself was able to raise. Before he left, he bought a ring. He proposed to Nkechi. It was a symbol of his promise to her. Finally, the day came. They went to the airport together. It was a very emotional moment. They held each other for a long time. Neither of them wanted to let go, but eventually Mr. Afor left. Back in the present, Mr. Afor stopped walking. He returned to the hospital waiting area and sat down. His heart was still heavy. Then a doctor walked in. He looked around like he was searching for someone. Mr. Afor quickly stood up and walked toward him. "Doctor, how is she?" he asked. The doctor looked serious. "We ran some tests," he said. "We wanted to make sure she was stable after the shock." Mr. Afor listened closely. Then the doctor continued, "But we found something else." Mr. Afor became quiet. The doctor spoke again. "She is sick, and it has been inside her for a long time." Mr. Afor's eyes widened slightly. The doctor's voice became more serious. "She will need surgery as soon as possible." Silence fell. Mr. Afor could not speak for a moment. His chest felt tight. Then he finally asked, "Is she awake now?" The doctor replied, "Yes, but she is resting." Mr. Afor did not wait. "I want to see her," he said. And he followed the doctor toward the ward. Mr. Afor slowly entered the hospital ward. The room was quiet. Nkechi lay weakly on the hospital bed with her eyes closed. Mr. Afor stopped for a moment and looked at her carefully. His heart became heavy. She had become very lean. Her face looked pale and tired. This was not the Nkechi he remembered. The woman lying on the bed looked like someone life had dealt with very badly. Mr. Afor pulled a chair closer and sat beside her quietly. He kept staring at her. Many questions filled his mind. What happened after he left? How did her life become like this? Why was she working as a cleaner in a hotel? The more he looked at her, the more pain he felt in his heart. Suddenly, Nkechi moved slightly. Mr. Afor quickly looked at her. Slowly, her eyes opened. She looked around weakly, trying to understand where she was. Then her eyes stopped on Mr. Afor. Immediately she saw him. Her face changed again in shock. Even now, she still could not believe he was sitting there beside her. Mr. Afor quickly leaned closer. Hey, calm down," he said softly. "It's me, Afor. I'm here now. Everything will be fine." Nkechi kept staring at him. Tears slowly gathered in her eyes. "Afor," she said weakly. "Yes," he replied gently. "It's really me." She looked at him again like she still could not believe it. Then slowly, she stretched out her hand and touched his face. Her hand trembled slightly. "You are really here," she whispered. Mr. Afor held her hand carefully. "Yes, I am here." For a few seconds, neither of them spoke. They simply looked at each other. Years had passed, but somehow that moment still felt unreal to both of them. Mr. Afor could see many questions in her eyes, but he was more worried about her condition. He spoke softly. "The doctor told me you were already very sick." Nkechi lowered her eyes slightly. Mr. Afor continued, "He said you need surgery." For a moment, Nkechi stayed quiet. Then she finally spoke. "I already know." Mr. Afor looked at her carefully. "You knew?" Nkechi gave a weak reply. Yes, I found out years ago. Mr. Afor became silent. Nkechi continued speaking slowly because she looked weak and tired. I've been trying to save money for the surgery. She paused briefly before speaking again. That is why I started working at the hotel. Mr. Afor felt even more pain hearing that. He looked at her thin face again, and suddenly, many things started making sense to him. He wanted to ask her many questions. He wanted to ask what happened to the good job she once had before he traveled abroad, but looking at her now, he stopped himself. She looked too weak. Even while speaking, she kept letting out soft sounds of pain. Nkechi also looked like she wanted to ask him many things, but she stayed quiet. Mr. Afor gently adjusted the hospital blanket covering her. Please rest, he said softly. Nkechi looked at him quietly. Then slowly, she closed her eyes again. Mr. Afor stayed there for some moments, watching her. Then he finally stood up and left the ward. He walked straight to the doctor's office. The doctor welcomed him inside. Doctor, Mr. Afor said seriously, tell me everything. The doctor explained her condition carefully. He explained the surgery she needed and how soon it had to be done. Mr. Afor listened without interrupting. Then he asked, what do you need to begin? The doctor looked at him. There are payments and preparations that need to be handled immediately. Mr. Afor replied without hesitation. Prepare everything. The doctor looked surprised for a moment. You want us to begin immediately? Yes, Mr. Afor answered firmly. I don't want any delay. For the next several minutes, Mr. Afor handled everything. He made payments, he signed documents, he asked questions about the surgery. And before leaving the office, he turned to the doctor again. Please do everything possible to save her. The doctor replied calmly, we will do our best. After speaking with the doctor, Mr. Afor finally left the hospital for a short while. That same day, preparations for the surgery began immediately. Doctors and nurses moved in and out of Nkechi's ward, and by evening, Nkechi was slowly wheeled toward the operating theater. As the hospital bed moved through the hallway, one thought stayed heavy in Mr. Afor's heart. Lord, please preserve her life. I cannot afford to lose her. The surgery was successful, but the doctor explained that Nkechi still needed to remain in the hospital for proper monitoring. She still needs rest, the doctor said. We want to watch how her body responds to treatment over the next few days. Mr. Afor listened carefully. Will she be okay? He asked. The doctor replied calmly, sure, the surgery went well. Mr. Afor finally felt a little relief. For the next 4 days, Nkechi remained in the hospital. And during those 4 days, Mr. Afor stayed busy. A few months before returning to the country, he had already been speaking and making arrangements with a real estate company. He wanted to buy a fully furnished house in one of the choice areas of Abuja. Now he finally completed the payment. The company handed over the keys to him that same day. One of the staff smiled as he handed him the documents. Congratulations, sir. The house officially belongs to you now. Mr. Afor collected the keys quietly. At the same time, the luxury car he had shipped into the country months earlier had finally arrived. His clearing agent called him. Sir, your car has arrived. Mr. Afor went to complete the process immediately. Everything seemed to be falling into place. But even with all the money and success around him, his mind still stayed on Nkechi. 4 days later, Mr. Afor drove to the hospital early in the morning. After checking Nkechi carefully, the doctor smiled slightly. She is responding well, he said. Mr. Afor looked relieved. So she can go home? He asked. Yes, the doctor replied. She's fine to leave today, but she still needs proper rest. Mr. Afor thanked the doctor. He walked back into the ward. Nkechi was already sitting up quietly on the bed. You're going home today? He said softly. Nkechi looked at him. Home, she repeated slowly. Mr. Afor smiled faintly. Yes, He carefully helped her stand up from the bed. "You have to move slowly," he told her. "I'm okay," Nkechi replied. But he still supported her carefully as they walked out together. When they finally reached outside, Nkechi stopped for a moment after seeing the car. The car looked very expensive. She slowly turned to look at him, but Mr. Afor simply opened the passenger door for her. "Careful," he said as he helped her into the seat and closed the door softly before walking around to the driver's side. Soon, they left the hospital. The roads of Abuja were busy as cars moved around them. Inside the car, silence filled the air between them. Nkechi kept stealing glances at him. She had many questions in her mind. Mr. Afor also had many questions for her, but neither of them knew where to begin. Finally, Nkechi spoke softly. "Where are we going?" Mr. Afor kept his eyes on the road. "To my house," he replied. Then he added casually, "While you were in the hospital, I managed to get a small place." Nkechi quietly replied, "Okay." But not long after, the car left the busy road and entered a different area of the city. Everything there looked beautiful. The streets were clean and quiet. Massive houses stood behind beautiful gates. Luxury cars could be seen everywhere. Nkechi slowly turned toward the window, then she looked at Mr. Afor again. She knew immediately that the small place he mentioned could not truly be small. Even the smallest house in that area would cost millions of dollars. But Mr. Afor said nothing. He simply kept driving. Soon, the car stopped in front of a massive gate. Before Nkechi could say anything, the gate opened automatically. The car slowly entered the compound. Nkechi's eyes moved around quietly. The compound alone looked bigger than some hotels she had seen before. When the car stopped, Mr. Afor quickly came down and walked to her side. He opened the door carefully. "Take your time," he said. Then he gently helped her out. Together, they slowly walked into the house. As soon as they entered, Nkechi became speechless. Everything around her looked beautiful. The lights, the furniture, the decorations. Everything looked expensive. Mr. Afor did not stop at the living room. He carefully led her upstairs and opened one of the bedrooms. "This room is yours," he said softly. Then he showed her the bathroom. "Take a bath and freshen up," he told her. "I will go get food for you." Nkechi looked at him quietly. "Okay," she replied. Immediately, Mr. Afor left the room. Moments later, she heard the sound of a car driving out of the compound. Nkechi slowly looked around the bedroom again. Then she entered the bathroom. As soon as she stepped inside, she stopped for a moment. The bathroom was massive. Everything inside looked modern and luxurious. At the center was a large jacuzzi bathtub. Nkechi slowly touched part of it with her hand. She could hardly believe this place was real. Soon, she finished bathing. After the bath, she felt slightly stronger. Curiosity slowly filled her mind. So she stepped out of the room to look around the house properly. As she walked through the mansion, she kept looking around in silence. Eventually, she entered the kitchen. The kitchen alone looked bigger than the apartment she used to live in. She slowly walked toward the large kitchen island and touched it gently. Then memories filled her mind. Years ago, she and Afor used to talk about a life like this. A better life, a successful life, a peaceful home together. Back then, it had only been a dream. But now, Mr. Afor was living that dream for real. Then one question entered her mind deeply. How did Afor become this wealthy? While Nkechi stood wondering, her eyes kept moving around. She was still trying to understand everything she was seeing. "This cannot be real," she whispered to herself. Just then, she heard the main door open. Her body froze for a moment. She slowly walked out of the kitchen toward the living room. And there he was, Afor. He had just returned from buying food from a restaurant. He walked in calmly and placed the bags on the table. I got food, he said softly. Nkechi stood there watching him. Her heart was full of questions, but her mouth was silent. Afor walked closer and said, "Let's eat first, then I will give you your medicine." He arranged the table and gently pulled out a chair for her. "Come," he said. Nkechi did not move. She looked at the food, then she looked at him. Then she finally spoke. "No," she said quietly. Afor paused. "What do you mean, no?" he asked. Nkechi's voice became stronger. "I will not eat anything until you tell me everything." Afor looked at her. "Nkechi, you need to eat first." But she shook her head slowly. "No, not until you answer me." She pointed slightly at him. "What happened to you? Why did you disappear after 2 months abroad? And how did you become this rich?" Silence filled the room. Afor closed his eyes for a moment. He knew there was no way around it. He pulled out a chair and sat down. "I will tell you all you need to know right now, but I need you to sit first." She walked closer and sat down. Then he took a slow breath. "Okay," he said quietly. "I will tell you everything." Afor looked at her and said, "Do you remember that morning, 2 months after I traveled abroad?" Nkechi stayed quiet for a moment. Then she said, "Yes, I remember." Afor continued, "You called me that day. You told me about your day like always. And I told you I was rushing for class and I did not want to miss the train." Nkechi nodded slowly. "I remember," she said again. Afor leaned forward slightly. "That morning, I ran into the train. I was trying not to be late." Nkechi listened carefully. Afor's voice became lower. "Later, during break time, I wanted to call you. I reached into my pocket." He paused. "My phone was gone." Nkechi's eyes widened slightly. Afor continued quickly. "I checked my bag. I went back to the classroom. I searched everywhere, but I could not find it." Then he said slowly, "The last place I remember having it was inside that train." He looked at her. "I think it fell when I tried to put it in my pocket." Nkechi covered her mouth slightly. Afor shook his head. "After that, everything changed. I had no way to call you, no way to reach you. I lost all contacts. Your number, everything." He leaned back slowly. "I went back to the train station many times. I tried to find that same train again." Nkechi was quiet. Afor continued. "I thought about sending letters, but I knew it might not even reach you." Silence filled the room again. Then Afor spoke softly. "For a long time, I was alone, but I had to keep moving." He looked at her. "I finished my master's program. I got a job through some people I met at school." Nkechi listened without blinking. "The job helped me survive. But after work every day, I and some friends worked on a small tech idea." Nkechi asked quietly, "A tech idea?" Afor nodded. "Yes. We worked on it after work. Every single day. At first it was small, but it kept growing." He paused. "Then it became very big." Nkechi leaned forward slightly. "How big?" she asked. Afor looked at her. "Big enough that we left our jobs. Because the money it was making was more than we could ever earn in years." Nkechi's eyes slowly widened as she listened. Afor continued. "As time passed, it became even bigger. Then after about 2 years, we sold it." Nkechi asked quickly. "Sold it?" Afor nodded. "Yes. We all wanted different lives, so we sold the company." He looked at her closely. "It was a very big amount of money." The room became very quiet. Nkechi sat still. Afor added softly, "That was when I decided to come back home." Afor took a breath again. "There is something else." Nkechi looked up. Afor continued. "A year after I finished my master's degree, my friend was preparing to return to the country, so I gave him a message for you." Nkechi's body became still. Afor said, "The same friend who introduced me to the scholarship." He went to your old place. He said you were not there anymore. After that, I kept wondering what happened to you. Where did you go? Then he looked at her with pain in his eyes. And then when I saw you again, at that hotel, his voice became softer. You were cleaning rooms. He paused. That moment broke me. Then he asked, Nkechi, what really happened to you? Nkechi stayed quiet for a long time. Then slowly, she adjusted herself on the chair. Her eyes became serious, and she finally said, I will tell you everything. Her voice was low and her eyes were heavy. After you left, she began slowly, everything was fine at first. But after 2 months, I could not reach you again. Her hands tightened together. I tried your number again and again, but it wasn't going through. She looked down. I became very worried. I kept thinking you would come back. I really missed you, Afor. Afor's face stayed still, but pain showed in his eyes. Nkechi took a slow breath and continued. Some months later, the company I worked for went down. Afor looked up slightly. Nkechi explained they said they could not continue. They started letting people go and giving them small severance payments. She paused. The only money I had before then was the money I gave you for your travel. Afor looked at her. Nkechi added softly, so when they paid me the severance, I knew that if I used it to renew my rent, I would not have any money left. So I moved to a smaller place so I could still have some money to survive while I looked for another job. She looked away. I packed my things and left. Afor listened without interrupting. Nkechi continued, I started looking for jobs, but there was nothing. Every place I went, they said no job. She swallowed hard. I had experience, but no one was hiring. Afor leaned forward slightly. Nkechi stopped for a moment. Then she said, but one day, something happened. Afor's eyes focused. What happened? He asked quickly. Nkechi looked at him. One day, I was coming back from a job interview. It did not go well. I felt tired. She paused again. Then I started feeling pain in my chest. Afor's face changed. Nkechi continued. I became dizzy, and I fell on the road. Afor sat still. Nkechi's voice shook a little. A stranger saw me and helped me to the hospital. Afor asked quickly, The hospital? Nkechi nodded. Yes, she said softly. That was where I found out I needed surgery. Afor's eyes widened slightly. Nkechi added, The doctor said it must be done quickly. She lowered her head. But I had no money. Silence filled the room again. Nkechi continued slowly, I could not even feed properly, and now there was surgery I could not pay for. Afor's hands tightened. Nkechi said, That was when I decided to take the cleaning job at the hotel. Afor looked at her closely. Nkechi's voice became very soft. Even when I was not feeling well, I still went to work every day. I had to act strong. I needed money for food, and I needed money for the surgery. She paused, but deep inside I knew it was not enough. No cleaning job could give me that kind of money. Her voice dropped. So I just kept going, day after day. Afor slowly looked away. His heart felt heavy. After a moment, he spoke. I'm sorry. Nkechi quickly shook her head. No, she said. It is not your fault. Afor looked at her. Nkechi continued. It was just life. Things happen. We survived it somehow. She gave a small pause. Then she added, If we were not meant to meet again, we would not have met. Afor became quiet. He thought about everything that had happened. The missed phone, the lost contact, the hotel, the meeting, everything. Slowly, he spoke. Maybe you are right. He looked at her deeply. Maybe all of this was not just chance. For a moment, silence stayed between them. Then Afor gently held her hand. Sweetheart, he said softly, I am here now, and I'm not going anywhere again. Nkechi looked at him. Afor continued, I came back to keep my promise and to build something with you. Not just success, but a life together." Nkechi's eyes slowly filled with tears. Afor saw it and became quiet. Then his own eyes became heavy too. Without saying anything else, he pulled her into a warm hug. They held each other tightly, like they were afraid to lose each other again. Softly, both of them said at the same time, "I love you." After a while, Afor slowly released the hug. He looked at her and said gently, "Now, eat something and take your medicine." In the days that followed, Afor and Nkechi became even closer. Every day they spent hours talking. They talked about the years they lost contact. They talked about their struggles. And sometimes they simply sat together quietly, enjoying each other's presence. Afor made sure he was always there for her during her recovery. Whenever she needed medicine, he brought it. Whenever she needed food, he handled it himself. And slowly, Nkechi became stronger again. A few weeks later, she had fully recovered. And that was when Afor started taking her out again. He took her shopping at expensive boutiques. He bought her beautiful dresses and shoes. He took her to the salon. He bought her jewelry. And one afternoon, he handed her a car key. Nkechi looked at the key in shock. "Afor, what is this?" she asked. Afor smiled. "It is yours." Nkechi stared at him. "You bought me a car." Afor laughed softly. "You deserve much more than that." Tears gathered in her eyes again. "You keep doing too much for me," she said quietly. Afor looked at her seriously. "No," he replied. "I'm only taking care of my woman." Nkechi smiled and hugged him tightly. As all this was happening, Afor was also busy setting up his new company. Most days, he spent hours on calls and meetings. But no matter how busy he became, he always made time for Nkechi. One evening, both of them sat together in the living room watching a movie. The lights were dim. Nkechi rested comfortably beside him. Suddenly, she tapped his arm softly. "Babe." Afor turned toward her immediately. "Yes?" Nkechi looked serious. "There is something I want us to talk about." Afor noticed the expression on her face. Immediately, he picked up the remote control and lowered the volume of the television. Then he faced her properly. "What is it, sweetheart?" he asked softly. "Talk to me." Nkechi took a slow breath. "It is about the company you are setting up." Afor listened carefully. Nkechi continued, "You said you want both of us to run it together, and I truly appreciate that." Afor smiled slightly. "But," Nkechi continued, "you know I do not really have a tech background." Afor remained quiet. Nkechi continued, "As a business administrator, I know there will still be something for me to do in the company. But I have been thinking deeply." Afor leaned closer. "What are you thinking?" Nkechi looked into his eyes. "What if I start a different business entirely?" Afor stayed silent and listened. Nkechi continued, "You handle the tech company, and I run something different. That way, we will not depend on only one source of income. As time goes on, we can continue building more businesses little by little." The room became quiet. Afor looked at her for a few seconds. Then he breathed out slowly. Nkechi looked worried immediately. "Do you not like the idea?" she asked. Afor smiled. "You have always been an intelligent woman," he said, "and that is one of the things I love about you." Nkechi smiled slightly. Then Afor added, "One business can survive for years, but people who build lasting wealth usually grow in different directions little by little." He looked at her proudly. "What you just said is a very smart idea." Nkechi's face brightened immediately. "So you like it?" Afor laughed softly. "I love it." Then his expression suddenly changed slightly. "But before all that," he said slowly, "there is something very important we need to do first." Nkechi looked confused. "What do you mean?" Suddenly, Afor turned sharply, pointing toward the kitchen. "Ah, what is that at the kitchen entrance?" he shouted dramatically. Nkechi jumped in fear immediately. "What? What?" She quickly turned toward the kitchen entrance. "What did you see?" Her heart pounded heavily. But when she turned back toward Afor, she froze. Afor was down on one knee, and in his hand was a beautiful diamond ring. Nkechi covered her mouth immediately. "Oh my goodness." Then she placed her hand on her chest. "Babe, you frightened me." Afor laughed softly. "I'm sorry, sweetheart." Nkechi stared at him in complete shock. Afor looked up at her with deep emotion in his eyes. "I know we have done this before," he said. "I know I already proposed to you years ago before I left the country." He paused briefly. "But that was a different time." He lifted the ring slightly. "This time, I want to ask you again on a new level." Nkechi's eyes became wet immediately. Afor continued, "You stayed in my heart all these years. I never stopped loving you. And now that I have found you again, I never want to lose you anymore." Then he looked straight into her eyes. "Nkechi, will you marry me?" Nkechi could not speak for a moment. Tears rolled down her face. Then finally she said, "Yes." Afor smiled, slid the ring onto her finger, and stood up. Nkechi rushed into his arms and hugged him tightly. "I love you so much," she whispered. "I love you too," Afor replied. After some moments, Afor slowly pulled away from the hug. Then he walked toward the television console. He opened one of the drawers and brought something out. Nkechi looked confused. Then Afor handed 2 passports to her. Nkechi looked down at them. Her eyes widened instantly. "Babe?" Afor smiled proudly. "I already secured 2-week visas for both of us." Nkechi looked at him in disbelief. "We are traveling abroad for vacation." Nkechi screamed happily and jumped into his arms again. "Babe, I do not even know what to say. I'm so excited." Afor smiled as he held her. Seeing her happy again gave him peace deep inside. Then he said, "There is more." Nkechi looked at him quickly. "I already contacted an event planner." Her eyes widened again. "What?" Afor laughed. "Yes. I will give you her number. You and her will meet and start making plans for the wedding." Nkechi looked completely overwhelmed with happiness. Afor held her hand gently. "And once we return from the vacation, we will have our wedding." Weeks later, they traveled abroad together. For Nkechi, it became the happiest period of her life. She visited beautiful places. She enjoyed peace again. And most importantly, she finally had Afor back. After they returned home, their wedding took place. It was beautiful. It was glamorous. And as both of them stood together, smiling on their wedding day, they realized something deeply. Sometimes life may separate people for years, but true love always finds its way back home. And just like that, their journey came full circle. What was once broken by distance, silence, and uncertainty was rebuilt with truth, sacrifice, and forgiveness. Afor and Nkechi didn't just find each other again. They found healing, understanding, and a second chance at love. Moral lesson: life has a way of separating people and changing circumstances in ways we may not expect. But this story reminds us that genuine love is not only about being together in good times. It is about loyalty, patience, and the strength to endure when everything falls apart. Sometimes, what looks like a delay is actually life preparing something deeper than we imagined. Now we would love to hear from you. What do you think about Afor and Nkechi's story? Do you believe true love can really survive time and distance like this? Share your thoughts in the comments section. I would genuinely love to read what you think. And if this story touched you in any way, don't forget to like the video and share it with your friends so they can also enjoy it. More interesting and emotional stories are coming very soon. So make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next upload. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate you staying till the end.